Hi, it's Maria from Women into Wellness. Today I want to talk about postnatal wellness for mums. This is such an important topic. It's often overlooked and it can make all the difference in how you recover, not only in the early stages of your postnatal recovery, but then how you function as a mum and as a woman for the rest of your life. So if you want to hear more about it, stay tuned with me. This is the channel where I provide you with the tips, tools and strategies pertaining to nutrition, movement, mindfulness and lifestyle that'll help you navigate your way through your life stages as a woman so that you can maximise your potential for wellness. If you haven't already subscribed, then go ahead and do that and press the bell for notifications every time a new video drops. And if you like this video, then please go ahead and give me a like, and also feel free to share it so that other women you know can benefit from the content here. So let's get started on postnatal wellness. Now, there's no denying that motherhood is a fantastical journey. It's filled with physiological changes, hormonal shifts, lifestyle changes, and emotional roller coasters. And what actually happens often is we find that the wellness of the mum is overlooked. Now, we can explain quite easily why this happens, because when a baby is born, both our biological and our social imperative and also our emotional imperative is to nurture that baby and put all our resources into baby to make sure that they thrive and they develop and they grow up fit and well and healthy and happy. But while we're doing this, what we're often missing is a key component to not only the health and wellness of that child, because we're overlooking the mother, but also the whole family unit. And if you are a mum, you're probably going to relate to some of the things I'm going to mention here. So when you're a mum and you've poured a lot of that energy into your baby, what you're doing is perhaps missing a vital component to your own wellness, because you're not reserving some of your energy, some of your time and some of your resources, whether that might be financial resources or any other resources pertaining to wellness, towards yourself. And what this can do is it can actually hinder your recovery in those early postnatal stages. So the fourth trimester, which is the 3 months immediately following birth, through the period where you may be still bottle feeding or breastfeeding baby into weaning, but also through toddlerhood and through the ages of your child being, a young child to a young adult and beyond. And it can have knock-on effects for your physiology, for your emotional well-being and your state of mental health. So what I really want to make sure is that we look at starting to change the narrative around motherhood to make it not so much this sort of self-sacrificing martyrdom that we know it to be in the Western world, and turn it more into an opportunity for us to be pouring that love externally into our offspring, but also then to mirror that and reflect it back to ourselves. Because what happens is that when we put resources into our own wellness and well-being, we start to fill our cup, to use a cliche, but it gets the point across here. We fill our cup so that we can pour from that place. Our cup runneth over, we can pour fully, and we can start to feel like we are abundant, we are vibrant, and that can only benefit our children and our family. So I want to talk about some of the ways that it's really important to focus on maximising your potential for wellness and well-being if you are a new mum, or if you're a mum a few years down the line, or like I said, a few decades down the line. And one of the first ways that you can do this is to start taking the time to actually focus on your wellness plan. Now that's easier said than done, because right now you're perhaps watching this video and that is a commitment in itself. I value your time and this is a great first step. But you need to take it a little bit further than that. So you need to actually start to allot and plan out time for yourself as to when you are going to create these little pockets or moments of not only self-care, because these are the things you have to do, right, but self-nurturing, to go that step further, to fill yourself with joy, to start to do the activities that are going to replenish and restore you. So what I suggest is that you start in a way that you know you can manage. So whether this be that you create a little pocket of time, like I need to just have those 10 minutes in the morning to myself before the kids get up, before my routine starts, where I will do a little morning ritual. This could be a lovely way of starting your day, and your morning ritual could look like however you want it to. So you could have in there some relaxing breathing techniques. You could have in there some morning yoga, a little stretch routine. It might even just be going and sitting outside with your morning cuppa on your own before the kids have woken up, or reading a book, doing something that nurtures you. Likewise, you could do this at the end of the day and have a little nighttime ritual. So maybe you want to just go and relax after the kids have gone to bed, or after you put that baby down, and you're going to do a guided meditation, or you're going to do a gentle bit of exercise, maybe some restorative yoga, or have that lovely bath with some scented aromatherapy oils. But something where you plan out the time for yourself, because trust me, if you don't plan the time for yourself, it's one of those things that when life gets busy, you are going to just knock off your schedule or forget or let slide, because that's what we do as mums, isn't it? We put everyone else's needs before our own. So the first important thing is that you schedule it. Now, you may think, I'm a busy mum, how do I have time to schedule it? And that is where this second part comes into play. And it's all about giving yourself the permission to put yourself first. So you may be a single mom, you may have a partner living with you, you may have a family network around you. Whatever it is, you need to find a way to make this non-negotiable time that you've scheduled for yourself by giving yourself permission to take that time. Now, if you're having to work this in around a family, hopefully it's not something you have to plead a huge case for, because your support network should realise that you have needs too. But a good way to do this is to negotiate something like a timeshare. So for example, if you have a partner or a family member that is not quite as willing to see that you need this time, you can opt in and say, how about they do the mornings and you get the evenings off, or vice versa, or slide in that break where they can get out of the house and vice versa, you can get out of the house. So it's like doing an equal swap. But I'm hoping that you'll be able to convince the person who is going to help you do this by just letting them know how important it is. And if they don't believe you, then get them to watch a video like this one. So we first talked about how you need to schedule the time. We've then talked about how you need to give yourself the permission to do it. And that's so important, because if you don't give yourself the permission to do it, then who is going to give you the permission? Actually, I'm going to give it to you right now. So go ahead and make sure you do this after this video. So those are the two most important things you need to do to start establishing a self-care plan or routine. It's not any more complicated than that in the beginning. It's realizing you need to do it. It's then scheduling in the time and giving yourself the permission and making sure you have the permission from anyone you feel you need to ask that you can do this for yourself. And that's where it all starts. And to be honest, this is the missing piece of the puzzle that is often overlooked in the motherhood wellness journey. Because, to be honest, we probably all know we could be eating healthier, we all know we should be exercising more, and my goodness, we've all heard so much about how mindfulness and stress management is important, and getting enough rest, recuperation and sleep. However, it's no good having access to those helpful bits of advice if we have not in the first place given ourselves the time, the space and the permission to embed any of those tools, strategies, routines or habits into our life. So make sure you start with getting the time scheduled in and the mindset of permission firstly embedded, and then you can add in all of those different elements of wellness that are going to bolster you up with energy and restoration. So why is postnatal wellness so important? Well, to begin with, it gives you that time, if you've just had a baby, to really allow you to rest, recuperate and focus on the most important aspects of postnatal recovery. Now, these would be to rest, to recover, to allow your body to rehabilitate, to then start to rebuild your body through strength and through stamina, and then start to retrain your body. So that's just looking at the physiological aspects. But it's also taking care of the emotional and the mental state of you. It's allowing you time to adjust, to ride the waves of hormonal shifts, to be able to accept the lack of sleep and to be mindful of your emotions and have that sense of self-awareness so that you can keep track on how you're doing, ask for help and support when you need it, and in fact flag it up when you feel like you're struggling and you need to reach a little bit further or get professional support or help. Now, if you're too busy worrying about everybody else in the family and not doing this, you can overlook some vital aspects to your recovery. And this can be anything from missing the fact that you're having postnatal physiological symptoms, such as your pelvic floor is not recovering well, or that you have injuries or cuts or abrasions that are not healing well, or in fact that your posture is being affected and giving you musculoskeletal aches and pains. It might even be that you're overlooking that aspect of baby blues and you're not quite aware that, you know, it's baby blues. You're just thinking, I'm tired all the time. And if you don't catch these things, they have the propensity or the potential to develop into things like postpartum depression. So important that you start to focus on postnatal wellness in the early stages. But I also mentioned that this can affect you later in life, because if you haven't taken care of things like your pelvic floor recovery or the perpetual mummy tummy that is caused by things such as diastasis recti, then you're going to find that this is going to affect you for many years potentially and throughout your life. And you may even find you have higher risk of developing things like pelvic organ prolapse, core problems, backache, and having ineffective breathing patterns that lead you to feel more stressful because you've got shallow breathing, because you've got a closed down posture. So you see what I'm getting at? One thing can affect the other. So this is why it's so important to start to prioritize it early on in the postnatal journey, or if you've not had the chance to do that early on, to take the opportunity to do it now. Have a look at your state of wellness. You really need to shine a light on yourself, and this is where a bit of honesty and willingness to be open with yourself, check in with yourself, but also to have the motivation to want to do the best for yourself, much like you probably had to do the best for your baby and for your children. And let's not forget that at any stage, when you start looking at your own sense of wellness and well-being, it creates this amazing opportunity for you to make lifestyle changes that can help you not only reduce any physical symptoms and mental or emotional symptoms you're currently experiencing, but also to prevent any that you might develop in the future. It's also a great way to set in place lifestyle habits that can really move with you and can evolve with you throughout your life. So you can make changes now that perhaps pertain to your nutrition or the amount of activity and movement you're doing, or perhaps you're creating rituals that replenish your emotions and your mindset and doing things like yoga and meditation that then become amazing tools and strategies that will carry on with you throughout life, and they really will bolster you in your times of need. Also, it creates an amazing example for you to be embedding self-care, self-nurturing routines now, so that as your kids grow up, they see you as a shining example of what it looks like when somebody takes care of themselves. Because my goodness, would you rather be having your child growing up not thinking about their nutrition, not moving their body, having aches and pains and ailments and higher risk of disease, not taking care of their mental health, not being self-aware, and having poor emotionally intelligent responses? Or would you rather they grow up seeing that you as their mother is working on these things? You don't have to be perfect, but it's just having that awareness and it's having that willingness to be working on it can be such an amazing example to your kids. And in fact, my kids have grown up seeing me doing yoga, they've been seeing me doing meditation, they see me eating healthily, and at every opportunity, it might just be a 1-minute conversation, but I pop it in there, or they try and do a downward dog. They've started doing some chanting with me for yoga, and it's a lovely way of them just growing up with habits that are healthily embedded because they see mummy doing it. So I hope watching this video, it's given you a little bit of inspiration and motivation to help you start thinking about how you can focus on your own self-wellness and well-being plan by remembering how important it is to not only schedule the time Realize how important it is to schedule that time, and also give yourself the permission to do it, because it can make huge changes for you that will be positive not only now but in the future, and also have that ripple effect to the people around you, including your children. And if you are interested in learning more about postnatal wellness, then I have an amazing online course for you. It's called Mama Loves Wellness, and this is a do-it-yourself wellness course. It contains 10 different modules that cover all of the aspects of postnatal wellness, taking you right through that 4th trimester, all the way through, covering breathing, posture, movement. You've got workouts in there, you've got nutrition, you've got stress management, and also emotional intelligence, self-awareness as well, and lifestyle shifts, and a bit of communication in there to just help you have that smooth flow with your support network. Now, I will pop a link down below. As I said, it's something you can find on your website, and it will have a plethora of information in there for you, tools, tips and strategies, including a beautiful workbook that wraps the whole thing up so that you can actually put into place all of the strategies that you are learning. And I'm going to ask you this question. Let me know in the comments below, what is the one thing you think you can start doing today to help improve your wellness? It can be something that's just a minute long, 5 minutes long, an hour long, whatever you have time for. What is the one thing you think you can do today and that you are going to commit to starting? So I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you found some wealth of information here for you. If you did, please go ahead and share it so that other mums like you can benefit too. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I wish you well.